Hi, everybody, and welcome to Nickel O's World Podcast. Welcome. If you are a new viewer, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you come back again. And if you're a returning viewer, as always, thank you so much for coming back again. This is episode 84, and it is Tuesday, April the 13th, 2022. Normally, I record on a Sunday, but we're just a tad late, but that's okay. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. And if you're wondering who I am Nicole, also known as Nikki18229, almost everywhere on the interwebs. Where can you find this podcast? You're probably wondering. Well, I'm glad you asked that. You can find us on Ravelry as Nickel O's World Podcast. You can find our blog at Nickel O's World Podcast. NickelO'sWorldPodcast.com. That's where my show notes are, and also embedded in there is this video in case you don't want to watch it on YouTube. You can also find us on Instagram as Nickel O's World Podcast. I haven't posted there for a while. I was posting some finished objects that I have made and works in progress. I would also love, with your permission, to post some of y'all's works in progress and finished projects as well. Alright, jumping in. Oh, and we also have a Facebook page as well. Nickel O's World Podcast on Facebook group. So check that out. I know you want to, and I know you will. Over to our Ravelry group. We have the April Finished Objects thread open. So feel free to post your finished objects in there so we can check them out and get some ideas on what to make. We also have the Ask Me Anything thread. If there's something you would like to know, please feel free to ask me on there and I will answer it. If you do not feel comfortable putting it in the thread, you can email me at nickelosworldpodcast@gmail.com. We also have our ongoing blanket along going on, which it doesn't matter when you started it, how long you've been working on it. Feel free to post in there your progress, your finished objects, or, maybe to give you an idea, because sometimes blankets can be slogs and you're like, eh. Alright, moving along from Administrati, what do we have going on? If you're wondering what I have, it's my new cup. If you're new, you know that I love mugs and teacups. This is not going away after Easter. It's staying out all year. We have some finished objects, some works in progress, and some acquisitions. I can't say that word today. Alright. Finished objects is my farmhouse dishcloth, and if you give me a moment, I will tell you all the details about it. Alright. If my computer here wants to move. My farmhouse dish towel. And it is by Pearl Soho. It is a free pattern. It is a knitting pattern. You can use one color or you can use two different colors together. It's actually a great pattern to do if you have the sugar and creme yarn. If you have bits and bobs of that, this makes a great project to use it up. I use some yarn from Dollar General. Their dishcloth yarn. That's what I was trying to spit out. If you have leftover dishcloth yarn, it makes a great pattern. I used their Crafter's Closet and it does not give a colorway. Nope, it does not give a colorway, but there's the tag. And it was kept in my Stars and Stripes cake bag made by me. This is my perfectly imperfect bag because there are flaws in it purposely, because if you've been joining me for a long time, you know what I'm going to say. But if you're new, I don't believe there's anything perfect. Everything has a flaw. So, here's my dish towel. And no, I did not plan it to pool like this. It did it all on its own. And as you can see, it's a very stretchy, so don't let it fool you. It is stretchy. Ha! It has an M if you turn it upside down. Pretty neat, huh? Pretty neat if you turn it that way too. But anywho, I digress. This is what it looks like. And there's actually no wrong side or right side to this. When you're knitting it, they do have a wrong side and a right side. But when you're finished with it, pretty much it doesn't matter what's wrong side or right side. It does have a little thing, a little loop in case you want to hang it up. This was a very easy pattern to knit. Once you get it down pat, you just go, 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 go. It's very potato chippy. Let's see, you want to know the specs on what I used here. I did use one skein of this, and one skein of this is 102 yards. I used a US 6 or size 4 millimeter needles, and one skein of the Crafter's Closet yarn. Their dish yarn or cotton. So yeah, that was my finished object. I really haven't been knitting or crocheting a whole lot because I'm having problems with my elbow, and they're currently trying to find out why. So yeah, fun. That's my only finished object. Then we're gonna move into works in progress, which is even more fun. My next work in progress, and let's get it all up here. I have my show notes in front of me. Is my Compass by Tin Can Knits. This is a paid for pattern over on the Tin Can Knits, and I will tell you. The pattern is $8, or you could buy their ebook for $24. I have the ebook, and it has really paid for itself. Alright, let's see all the specs on what I'm doing. I am using here, the yarn that I am using is called, it's by Red Heart. It's Chic Sheep by Marley Bird, and it's merino wool, 100% wool. It's a colorwork sweater. So this is the body. And the last time I talked to you guys, it did not have sleeves. Here's what it, as I poke my own self, here's what it looks like. I have half a sleeve or part way of a sleeve done on it. That's as far as I've gotten on it. Like I said, I haven't been knitting or crocheting a whole lot because my elbow's been hurting. And the color work is very beautiful on it and very easy to do. This kind of looks wonky in here, but that's only because I had it on some waste yarn. And from sitting on the waste yarn for a while, it's like freebie. Once I wash and block it, it will be different. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to wear this anymore this year because it is getting too warm. So it will end up sitting in my UFO bin, or my unfinished object bin. And if you're wondering, this is the back. It does have some short row shaping to it. I'm not giving anything on the pattern away, because I'm obviously not telling you how to do it, so not giving anything away. It has some short row shaping. This is the back. The only concern I have is I knit it to said number that they told me, and it sits right at my waist, like where my belly button would be. And I kind of like my sweaters to be a little longer, and maybe that stems from when I was a bigger girl than what I am. When I was a lot heavier, I liked things covering up my fat, and now I still kind of like that, to cover up the gut. But sweaters to me are supposed to be like a giant hug. And I kind of like my sweaters to be long, on the longer side, because where I live here in northeastern Pennsylvania, it gets cold. And I like that little extra room. If it's a little bit short after I wash it and block it, it's no big deal for me to go through and knit frog back to the beginning, to frog back to before the ribbing, and just knit a couple more inches on it. I really don't mind if that's the case. Trial and error, you learn as you go. The pattern is straightforward. It is very easy to do. If you're new to color work, it's not something I would recommend to tackle a sweater if you're brand new to color work. I do a couple of other color work projects before you tackle a sweater. I am working on Find Your Fade by Andrea Mallory. It is a $7 pattern. I have not worked on it, but I will show it to you in case you are new. I am using Red Heart Super Saver Ombre, and the colorway is Spearmint. And here's where I am at. So sorry, my light is like blowing it out, but that's where I'm at so far, as you can see. I haven't worked on this, so it's exactly the same as if you watched me the last time. If you haven't, check out my other episodes and feel free to catch up. My last work in object is my sock, and it is in my Playtime with Mr. Bear, or as I like to call it, Tea Time with Mr. Bear, because Mr. Bear is taking tea back here. This bag came from a homespun house by the maker Molly. She also has a podcast called A Homespun House. She's like the cutest little thing. Check her out. She lives in Germany with her husband. If you're wondering, the podcast is in English. All right. Find Your Fade, as I said, is a Find Your Fade. We discussed Find Your Fade. We're on my socks now. Sorry about that. One day I will get podcasting down right. If you're here for a high-end production podcast, you come to the wrong spot. Sorry. My socks that I'm knitting, they are by Laura Neal. They are the Stryer top-down socks. They are from her book, Sock Architecture. You can buy the ebook for $19.95. I have both the ebook and the hard book, the physical book. It's not a hardback book, but I have the physical book, Sock Architecture, and I also bought the ebook. I know. Why do you have two, Nicole? Well, what if I'm on the go when I'm knitting socks? I know. I'm weird, but what can I say? Alright. The Stryer, they're a top-down pattern. And, let me find it here. The yarn is... Oh, I do have the ball band. I've had this for a long time. The yarn. It's by Premier Yarns, Deborah Norville collection in the colorway Red or Rojo. I don't know if they still make this yarn. It's been in my stash for a long time. And here's where we're at. Not a whole lot of progress. I need to find a lock in progress keeper so you guys can see it. But this is what... There we go. This is true to color. Here's where we're at. And that's what it looks like so far. Once you memorize the pattern, which is super easy, you knit to your desired length, and then you do the heel, and then the foot and the toe. I highly recommend the book Sock Architecture because basically you're designing a sock to custom fit your foot. I want to get better at sock knitting. I've knit socks for years. Mostly I do vanilla socks, and if you're new, you're wondering what's vanilla. Just you knit. You put in your heel of choice. My heel of choice is the Fish Lips Kiss heel because that fits me better, or the Cat Bordy Sweet Tomato heel, or sometimes I do the German Short Row heel. But I want to learn how to do different heels just to try out and do something different for funsie and get better at sock knitting. I'm not a fan of top-down socks. I am a toe-up gal, but sometimes you gotta step out of your comfort zone, and sometimes you just want to change. So I want to get better at top-down socks and get better at Kitchener. I'm okay with Kitchener, but I want to be better. So that's what I have here. I am actually doing these socks magic loop. Normally, I knit my socks on, I can do double points. I'm not a fan, but I can do double points. I like the Flexi Flip, the Addi Flexi Flips. If you're on the fence about getting Flexi Flip needles, I personally like them. It's kind of like Magic Loop meets DPNs. The only reason I'm not doing these on the Flexi is because of the issue I'm having with my elbow. For some reason, it aggravates it more. So, Magic Loop is working out better. Hey, whatever works. Another thing, if you're unsure of getting any type of Flexi Flip needles, see if you have a friend that uses them and ask if they'll let you try them out. If they'll maybe let you borrow them or try them out, or maybe see if somebody has them on a D-stash, because I understand these aren't everybody's cup of tea. They're not everybody's jam, and I understand that. Just like I understand DPNs aren't everybody's jam. Am I getting laddering with this? Yes, probably. I do when I do magic loop. For some reason I get ladders and I have to go fix it. I don't know why, but when I use Flexis, I don't get them. But that's all my works in progress this week. I do have some acquisitions. Not a whole lot, but I do have some. And it's just yarn acquisitions. I picked up some more scrap yarn. Let me get it. I went to the thrift store and they had some yarn there. I picked up this for $1. It's just a bag of scrap yarn. just little ends. And if you're wondering, like, why are you picking up ends, like bits and bobs? And the reason why I'm picking up bits and bobs is because I knit preemie hats. I do the Arn and Carlos quarantine squares. And I do magic loop or magic cake blankets, where it's just like a mixture of yarn together to make a blanket. This I got for $3, and it's practically a full skein of Red Heart yarn. I'm assuming it's Red Heart. It feels like the Red Heart material. In here for $1, a mixture of yarns. So I like to have some bits and bobs in my stash for fun. So that's my acquisitions for the week. If you're leaving me, I'll move into what's going on in my life. If you're leaving me now, you don't want to stick around for that, thank you so much, and I hope you come back again. Alright, getting into what's been going on with me. Not a whole lot exciting, just some tasks to find out what's going on with my elbow. Getting things ready, cleaned up from winter around here now that the weather seems to be breaking. So yeah, that's just fun, huh? And adulting. Adulting is always fun. What? Those that ask, I am doing better since my gallbladder surgery. Thank you for asking. Getting back into the swing of things again. Getting back to being able to do without being in pain from having the surgery. All my critters, if you hear them in the background, are good. I did have to take my dog to the vet today. He's having tilting his head. So we had him checked out. Vet said it's okay. It's some sort of vestibular disease. But they did some blood work to be safe, so fingers crossed that comes back good. That there's nothing majorly wrong, and that the antibiotics that they gave him worked. That's about everything that's been going on with me. So I will let you guys go so I can get this edited and upload it. And I will talk to you again in a week or two. Bye.